There's one thing you should know about me.
I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security.
You're talking about dreams.
I sat and read it for, it was a good, solid, I don't know. It was a very solid reading. You really have to focus on it.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite kind of movies are the ones that make you think, that give you something to talk about afterwards. I know some people go in for that, oh, I just want to turn my mind off. And that's fine. But, and I like those movies too sometimes. But my favorite ones are the ones that, really get my attention, when I have to think it through and I'm not sure what's going to happen and I'm trying to figure it out at the same time as I'm exhilarated and watching, all the spectacular fights and, things going on. I'm also trying to think, why is this happening? What's the story trying to tell me? And I think Inception rides that line exceptionally. It's got both, and I think Chris Nolan's movies generally do. If you think about watching The Dark Knight, you could just watch it just as a simple action movie and enjoy it on that level. Right. But if you want to, you can also think of the politics that's going on in Gotham. You can think of, like, what does Two-Face say about politicians in cities or et cetera. You could think about a lot of different things going on in that movie if you wanted to, or you could just watch it for the fun.
Mr. Cobb has a job offer he would like to discuss with you.
Like a work placement?
Not exactly.
We create the world of the dream. We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
Then you break in and steal it.
Well, it's not strictly speaking legal.
Right away, I think, the first few pages, I was really interested in what was going to happen and how this was going to be resolved and kind of make sense. And then through, reading it was a ride in itself, an intense ride. And as the script continues, it felt as if more things were being tied together. And by the end, it was so conclusive, and all of a sudden, it was as if I just understood everything. And that was just reading the script was actually quite a thrilling experience. So.
I would hesitate to use the word best because, movies aren't like sports. They're not there's no winners and losers. But I think that Chris is a filmmaker for the ages, and I think I'll be proud to tell my kids and my grandkids that I worked with him.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, working with him is an absolute joy, and to be such a fan of his work, and then to be able to be in this incredible original world he's created, and to work with someone who, despite the scale and the vastness of the film, works so intently and creates such an intimate atmosphere for actors, yeah. And creates such a sincere core in his films, which makes everything else just that much more immersive. And I think he's absolutely incredible. I mean, I agree that, yeah, movies don't work in a best or who's what's or not snats or didn't make any sense. But yeah, an absolute dream to work with.
Well, he's the guy. Chris Nolan is, Chris Nolan is the genuine article. He's an artist. He's, like they say, an auteur. And it's not often that someone with those values gets all the power to do whatever he wants on the grandest scale imaginable. Normally, people who get that kind of power are more kind of calculated businessmen. They're really kind of in it more for the money. Mm-hmm. And Chris is just in it for because he loves movies and he loves storytelling, and it's a beautiful thing to see and an honor to get to work on a project that's coming at it from, a movie like Memento or, where he started, of something that's really just about the love of movies, but to get to do it with all the resources that Hollywood has to offer. Yeah, now, you know, I can feel more secure to look like a schluck because I've looked so good in Inception.
Oh, come on. With that face, he could wear anything. I think your fight sequence is absolutely mind-blowing, and
Thank you.
Joe worked tirelessly and so hard and trained so much and was in a lot of pain. And
She was my confidant. She was the only girl around. So you can kind of confess to a girl like, wow, that actually really hurt. You can't say that
sorry,
to the
I hope I'm not being too, but I mean that in just such a complimentary way, because when I saw his fight sequence in the final, and I was there sometimes on set when he was shooting, and it was amazing to watch. But when I saw it in the final film, I was just blown away at the fluidity and it was really impressive.
Dream's collapsing.
I have it under control. I'd hate to see out of control.